will not be easy. But for more on this, Dr. Sergio Carrera, the head of Justice and Home Affairs Unit at the Centre for European Policy Studies, joins us now from Brussels. Thank you very much for joining us. So many divisions over this issue, as Michael quoted yesterday. It could make or break the EU. So an agreement on some level has been reached. What do you make of it?
Well, this is an agreement of minimums. Actually, the big absence in the discussions has been the reform, the much-needed reform of the EU Dublin system. How do we share responsibility amongst the member states in assessing asylum applications? Now, it is clear, I think, that most of the ideas that have been presented and concluded by the European Council lack any substance, and it will be at the moment of implementation where the actual challenges and risks of these proposals will be actually seen.
And countries agreed for internal measures to be taken to stop migrants from moving within the EU. Does that not go against the principle and values of EU that was built upon?
There are many challenges at times of implementing these centres inside the European Union based on the experience of the hotspot approach, which was developed following the 2015 European refugee crisis. One of the questions there is how to avoid that these centres do not become detention facilities where the conditions are inhuman for the people there. What hasn't been discussed is what do we do once the people reach those centres? And this is again the big absence in today's conclusions. Do we transform, do we reform the Dublin regime or not? Do we seek a more fair and solidarity-based distribution system in the EU? What we are seeing in Italy is also linked to that. Do we develop a common search and rescue model based on all EU member states' involvement, or do we continue with the current scenario where it is not clear how this responsibility is shared? So at the moment, this is left unanswered.
And what do you expect? And what do you expect?
Well, I expect, that these non-conclusions, because in fact, I don't think they have concluded really anything, will call for sooner than later, they will call for coming back to the actual issue, the actual debate of how can we ensure a common ground, a common response by the European Union in this issue. No country can be left alone. We are all together in this boat. This is not an issue for this or another country. A common solution must be reached. This may happen during the Austrian presidency. However, the focus during this presidency will be, as you mentioned before, very much centered on convincing third countries to do the job that is expected from EU member states. The idea of disembarkation centers poses a number of international and European human rights challenges, which ultimately may end up in courts, before courts. So I expect that this is the conversation and the debate is certainly not over. And also that the European Union is still 3 years after not crisis-proofed in this area.
Well, we'll have to watch and see. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for that, Sergio Carrera.